Alright, this is part 2. Get ready for the rest of this episode.
What does annulment mean?
It's when a man sets aside his lawful wife.
Maynard says here that he issued an annulment for Prince Ragger and remarried him to someone else at the same time in a secret ceremony in Dawn. Is that a common thing in the South?
These maesters.
Rhaegar.
They set me to the task of preserving that man's wind accounting and annulments and bowel movements for all eternity, while the secret to defeating the Night King's probably sitting on some dusty shelf somewhere, completely ignored.
Sam, that's so
all right,
important.
isn't it? We can all become slavering, murderous imbeciles enthralled to evil incarnate, as long as we can have access to the full records of High Septon Maynard's 15,782 shits.
Sam.
Steps.
Steps.
That number was the steps.
What's he doing? You need your invisibility cloak.
You always wanted to be a maester.
I'm tired of reading about the achievements of better men.
What you whispering? Whose ear does he have now? Does he know she was watching? He always knows.
Lady Stark thanks you for your service.
Oh. Is it the same trick she used with the dung in the... That's a great callback. Did Littlefinger know she would find it there because he heard that story somehow? He planned it. He did plan it. Frickin' Littlefinger. I gotta take a closer look at what the parchment said.
Isn't it your job to talk him out of stupid fucking ideas like this?
I've been failing at that job of late.
How many queens are there now?
2.
And you need to convince the one with the dragons or the one who fucks her brother?
Gendry.
How many men did you bring?
With
the big woman?
The big woman. Oh, he's still planning for her. What? Thoros and the Hound.
You're the Hound.
Oh.
I saw you once at Winterfell.
You're a fucking Mormont. Like the last Lord Commander.
He was my father.
He hunted us. Like animals.
You returned the favor, as I recall.
Stop. This is no time for this.
Here we all are.
Enemies of
The
everybody.
edge of the world. At the same moment. Heading in the same direction for the same reason. But the Lord of Light cleared the
sake, will you shut your hole? Are we coming with you or not?
Then you want to know what we're doing?
We're all on the same side.
Come on, Gendry. It's
How
okay.
can we be? We're all breathing.
7 men. And a bunch of wildlings. Wow. So wow, guys, things are moving so fast in this episode, in this season, and we've brought back a lot of different characters. So many important things happening, I can't even begin to start parsing it all. But first, Bronn saved Jaime, and I love the reasoning. Until I get paid, nothing gets to kill you except me. But Jaime knows that if Daenerys wanted to win this war, it would be over already. And we have Tyrion walking through the battlefield, seeing all the destruction, uncomfortable with it for sure. And then with all the captured men, Daenerys tells him to kneel or die. And I'm glad to be rid of Randall Tarly. He was a detestable man, but I feel like I agree with Tyrion. Like, Daenerys probably should have found another way. But she's not one to go back on her word. Despite that, she might have gone for sending him to take the Black if Randall himself didn't refuse. And so she wiped out Randall and Dickon. That's rough. I was hoping Randall would have done more to stop Dickon, like kick his butt, honestly, like knock him out, make him bend the knee. I also thought it would be really funny if Daenerys said, Lord Randall, Rickon Tarly, I sentence you to die. And then, like, Dickon's last words would have been, it's Dickon, ah! it gets burned. But yeah, it's House Tarly is essentially without an heir since Sam is part of the Night's Watch. But we have Melissa and Tala Tarly holding onto House Tarly. After the war is over, I'm hoping Sam can be dismissed from the Night's Watch and come back home to be head of his house and start a new era for them, one that holds like different values. And actually, all of the South is up for grabs. So if Jon becomes king, would he trust Sam to be warden of the South? That would be pretty cool. But yeah, Tyrion is very uncomfortable with her killing people like this, and as is Varys. Varys and Tyrion had the conversation about how Varys continually tried to distance himself from Aerys's murders. That was pretty hard-hitting. I was just hoping that... I wish Daenerys could listen to that conversation. I think that would wake her up a little bit. But Daenerys arrives home, and Drogon goes up to Jon, and I feel like Jon instinctively goes to pet him. Like, this might be the first time Daenerys has seen one of her dragons allowing someone to touch them, though, especially on the face. I think Tyrion just touched their chains when he took them off. But Daenerys being their mother means Jon is just bonding with his cousins, right? And when Drogon first roared, I thought after trying to get all of the Tarly men to kneel and the Lannister men to kneel, I thought he was trying to get Jon to kneel too. But yeah, that was really interesting to see. The Winterfell storyline, I don't know what to think of it. Sansa and Arya. Arya played the face game, the Game of Faces. She played that a lot, so she can probably read people pretty well, and Sansa included. But I don't understand Arya's issue with Sansa too much at first. Sansa was being civil with the rest of the Northern Lords. She has to be. I don't... But it makes sense in the sense that if Arya was in that position, she would definitely handle it differently. But I was just like, what's going on here? At least until Littlefinger leads her to stealing the parchment from him, that's when I was just like, oh, this could be a legitimate thing. First we see him passing a coin to a young woman. I don't know if that was significant or not. Sansa, what am I saying? Because I don't know if it had anything to do with the scroll he got, because he just gave her a coin and then the maester gave him that scroll, so I don't know what the coin was about. Yeah, but then he's good at sowing conflict. Sansa told Tyrion and Shae the story about how Arya sheep shifted her bed, putting sheep shit in her bed. She didn't know the word shit at the time. Sweet, innocent Sansa. Anyway, so Arya knew to look there because of that? Or was it just a coincidence? Did Littlefinger know about that story? Did one of his spies overhear Sansa telling that to Tyrion and Shae? I want to go back to that scene to see if it's possible. I should have done that before recording this. But anyway, I had to pause to see what the piece of paper actually was, but it was the note Sansa was forced to write by Cersei to Robb asking him to bend the knee. If the other Northern Lords find out about that, she might not be in charge for long, even if Jon hasn't come back yet. And I don't understand what Littlefinger is trying to do by making Arya see that. I know chaos is a ladder, but don't you want both of them on your side? How does splitting them apart help you when you're trying to use them to take all of King's Landing? I don't know what game he's trying to play. I know the why he wants to be on the throne, but I don't know how he's doing it just yet. And Arya knows how dangerous he is, though. Did she let him see her seeing him? I feel like if she didn't want to be seen, she wouldn't have been. She could wear a different face. She could have locked the doors from the inside after getting the scroll and then jumped out the window. I don't know if she's trying to outfinger the finger, but yeah. Jaime gets back to King's Landing and tells Cersei that Olenna killed Joffrey, and Cersei is seething that Olenna didn't suffer. But now that she knows Tyrion wasn't involved, does that make her ease up on Sansa too? Does she actually have anything against Sansa now, other than just her being a Stark? And Jaime says this war is unwinnable. Cersei says they have a choice of submitting and dying or fighting and dying, and she's made her choice. And I felt like Daenerys probably would let them live anyway, though. I think if they just gave up the throne, Daenerys would be okay with taking it. Even if she does hold something against the Lannisters for turning on Aerys, even though he was mad. And we get somewhat of a confirmation with when Daenerys sends a message through Tyrion's meeting with Jaime that they want to suspend hostilities. So, but then that meeting with Jaime and Tyrion, Jaime does harbor a lot of hate for Tyrion killing Tywin, but hears him out anyway. He goes to report to Cersei, and she just feels so much smarter than before. Like, she must have done a lot of thinking in that cell, or after getting out of that cell, trying to prevent anything like that from ever happening again. Which actually makes me doubt her pregnancy. I feel like she might just be manipulating Jaime. I don't know if she doubts Jaime's loyalty, but if she ever needed assurance, this is the way to get it. And she says she'll announce the baby as his too. But the witch said she would only have 3 children. Also interesting because she had one with Robert Baratheon that died, so this would technically be her 5th. But yeah, I don't know if she's telling the truth. I don't know how accurate the witch is in the first place. Was it a witch? I don't know. The seer, we'll call her. Bran wargs into a bunch of birds and gets them to all fly together to spy on the Night King. That's a good move, using the warging, considering last time he saw the Night King in his visions, he kind of got owned. But yeah, he sends ravens everywhere to let everybody know that the Night King is coming. Sam tries to get the Maesters to take that threat seriously and isn't able to. I'd be really frustrated if I was in his position too, so I understand him getting up and leaving. But yeah, later when he's back home with Gilly is so cute. Like, she's so fascinated by all this new information. Like, do you have any idea how many steps are in the Citadel? Guess how many windows are in the Steppe of Baelor? 0. And then this, like, high-septon Maynard who's, like, keeping track of everything. One page, he's talking about bowel movements and windows and steps. And the very next page, she just flipped the page. He drops the biggest bombshell. And Sam is, like, fed up with all of these facts and he's focusing on whatever he's focusing on right now. And in the moment, we're like, dude, listen to your woman. The fact that Rhaegar had his marriage with Elia annulled and he remarried, you can almost be forgiven if you can be forgiven if you don't catch it, because Gilly pronounces it Prince Rhaegar. But yeah, Sam loses his temper a little and raises his voice with Gilly, but she kind of takes it in stride and corrects him about the bowel movement versus the steps things anyway. I feel like she's definitely come a long, long way from being back in Craster's Keep. Like, if she had made that clarification like that to Craster, I'm pretty sure he would punish her. So it's personal growth, and it's also the fact that she trusts Sam completely, I feel like. So that's nice to see. But yeah, all of this means that Jon is actually the legitimate heir to the Iron Throne. I mean, there's no tangible proof to the people in the story that he's the son of Rhaegar and Lyanna, just Bran's word. At least not yet. So, good luck getting people to believe you, though he might wind up on the throne anyway just because he deserves it, just like he became King of the North because he deserves it. But yeah, it's really, really cool. He's a legitimate heir to the throne. Meanwhile, Jon also gets the message from Bran and finds out that Arya's alive as well. And it leads to this meeting between Jaime, the meeting Jaime and Tyrion had earlier, that we talked about earlier. But then Davos goes to Flea Bottom with Tyrion, and he gets freaking Gendry. That was so satisfying. He hasn't been on the show since like season 3, I'm thinking. And thank you, Davos, for making that same joke about thinking it's possible that Gendry was still Rowan. That was really funny. And Gendry uses the same weapon Robert used to take down Rhaegar, and he's quite good with it too. Yeah. And then those interactions Davos has with the guards and the fermented crab was really funny. But when it came down to it, Gendry took them out real quick. And I wonder if Davos told him they were going back to Dragonstone, like the very same place Gendry fled from years ago. Gendry immediately introduces himself as Robert Baratheon's son to Jon. Their fathers trusted each other, why shouldn't they? So that was a really great line. And their meeting actually mirrors Ned and Robert's back at the start of the series. Robert rode in as... did he ride in? Was he... I don't remember. But he was standing in front of Ned, and he's just like, "You've gotten fat." And Ned looks him up and down like, "You're one to talk." And then they both laugh. And I feel like that was so perfectly mirrored in this moment between Jon and Gendry, where Jon is like, "Oh, you're a lot leaner, and you're a lot shorter." And then there's that same tension as there was in the series premiere. Davos actually looks over to Jon like, "Oh shit." And then John finally cracks a smile. So I thought that was really, really well done. And then John wants to go back north to capture a white. Jorah's back now, and he wants to go too. And I'm just like, he just got back. He has to leave again, and I wish he would have told Daenerys about Samwell Tarly, though. Like, oh, we just killed his family. She would be like, oh yeah, we just killed his family. And then Jon would also be proud of Sam. So Gendry also joins with Jorah and Jon to go up north. And things are really moving fast this season. They're at Eastwatch in like the very next scene. And what an awesome line Tormund had about the queens. And you need to convince the one with the dragons or the one who fucks her brother. How the hell did he say that with a straight face? How many takes did that take? And Gendry's smiling at that line too. Yeah, and then they bring the Hound and the Brotherhood back into the fold. And there are a lot of tensions in that group. Gendry hates the Brotherhood. Tormund hates Jorah for what his father did. So maybe next episode they'll save each other's lives and become like a tight-knit group of best friends. Yeah, not likely. We're not watching that kind of show. But it's really cool to see all these characters meeting up. There's not one single thread that tied them all together in this story before they all met up, so it's really interesting. The closest is probably Arya, who 5 of the 7 of them know. Though they don't know that the other people know about them. Besides, well, Jon doesn't know that any of them know Arya, I think, right? And Gendry doesn't know that the Hound knows Arya, and vice versa. Only the Brotherhood and Gendry know about Arya and them. Yeah. Okay. But yeah, I feel like we kind of need a name for this group, though, but I can't think of a good one. What do you guys think? The Expendables, the Unexpendables, the White Crew, the Band of Best Friends. I don't know. I'm ready for this team up, though. It's really cool. And I want to give this episode 4.5 direwolves for its strong parts, but Arya and Sansa's story feels a little weird. It just doesn't... I don't know. I don't know if it feels forced, but I just don't like this storyline that much. But the rest of it was so good. I'm going to go with 4 direwolves for this one, though. But everyone, be sure to like, comment, share, and subscribe. We only have 2 episodes left in this season, and those are up over on Patreon in the link in the description below. And I've also started History and Lore Season 7 by now. So you can check that out in the link in the description below, like I said, yeah. And as well as the full reactions for all episodes up to the Season 7 finale. And thanks for watching. Hope you're looking forward to seeing my reactions to this ultimate team up. Alright, bye friends.